Alright, so I'll do a little narration. Phone's in a holder. This is considered one of the most scenic drives in all of North America. So today what I'm doing, author Matthew Douglas Pinard. No, just because I'm an author on every continent does not mean I am wealthy. I'm anything but. So I work a day job that I love, and it's providing mobile wound care services for the people of Arizona. And today I'm driving from snowy bound Flagstaff down this gorgeous drive to Sedona. And it literally is considered, I think it was rated by Arizona Highways as like the top drive in Arizona for scenery. And you're gonna see why, because we're going down a canyon that cuts through the what they call the Colorado Plateau system, right? So Arizona is up on the Colorado Plateau, and you've got what used to be a 16,000 foot volcano up there. It's now a 12,000 foot ski area, snow bowl, 12,000 foot, Humphreys Peak, Longs Peak. It's a beautiful area. You can go skiing. You can go have a craft beer, which I used to enjoy before my fatty liver. Anyways, and then Bruno here is a wingman for the day. So he helps to guide, and he gives us guidance. And he watches out for wolves. So we're going down this mountain, and as I hold the camera, you'll see just the red rock beauty start to come in play. You can start to see it there to the left a little bit. But this is one of the most incredible drives you'll ever take anywhere. One of the reasons I moved out here. The other reason, I'm a paranormal author of now 9 books. The things I've seen out here definitely would be worthy of a TV show. Crazy signs and wonders in the skies. There's a whole lot of people that have started rapture channels. A lot of children even getting visions, messages of Jesus coming to save us prior to wrath being poured out on this earth, which will be earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, typhoons, cyclones, derechos, tornadoes, meteors, flash flooding, wildfires. We get wildfires out here. You're going to have a limited nuclear war, unfortunately. Babylon, meaning the United States, will fall in 1 hour. So I'm giving this message out of love and concern. I would stay far away from major, huge cities like LA, New York. Have enough food and water, have enough blessed candles, holy water, dry food, backup power if you can. Aminals like Mr. Bruno's to protect you. So there's all these prophecies, we're right on the doorstep of tribulations. That's pretty obvious. Your billionaire class, which have utterly soulless, evil, awful human beings, want to put microchips in you, want to alter your DNA through jabs. We know what those were. And we all fell for it. I fell for it. I had to get the jab just to walk into a surgical OR, which I was a retinal surgery rep at the time of the pandemic. Which these are deep state. I'm a former Army guy. These are, I'm not into conspiracies unless I can prove them, right? So now, remember when we called JFK's assassination a conspiracy and 9/11 a conspiracy, and now there's enough research to show that that's exactly what happened. These were planned events. You have a DARPA, a deep state. It's like Defense Advanced Research Projects, and it's run by Luciferian garbage. These are all just kind of the evil ass, Eyes Wide Shut, Rothschild, those kind of scum, Rockefellers. I'll tell you a true story. I posted a message about the pandemic on LinkedIn on Bill Gates' page, and just to show you the level of collaboration at that billionaire level, within one day I think one of the Rothschilds had viewed my profile. So I'm sure I'm on their radar, and I believe that they're able to clone people now. They're able to suicide you. They're able to pretty much erase you from society if you don't go along with their agenda, which I think they've got their president now right in the White House, who's on a daily basis fulfilling Bible prophecy as well as fulfilling Antichrist prophecies, going into Venezuela, now thinking of attacking Mexico and Cuba, which makes zero sense unless you want to deliberately collapse the entire system and bring in your new world order, which will be hyper, like China. I just saw a camera on a street corner in Flagstaff. China, cameras on every corner. They will determine whether you're allowed to. They're training us all now, like YouTube, right? At some point, they'll probably take my YouTube channel down because it's too spot on. It's too godly, too revealing, too showing the truth of their wickedness. Eventually, you probably won't even be able to go on to the internet unless you can prove you've been vaccinated. I mean, this is how it's kind of pathetically obvious. But their Luciferian code is, we got to tell you what we're doing, and if you don't stop us, it's on you. And then they're absorbed of their bad karma from it, which is insane. It's awful. It's evil. But, you know, in a world where kids are starving daily to death, I think being a billionaire in end times is evil. I think inherently you're serving anyone but the good of humanity and God's chosen elect people. I went through a spiritual awakening a number of years ago, had Mother Mary appear to me and gave me a mission, which was write these books. That mission is not paid off. It's paid off for me spiritually. The glimpses I've been given, the miracles I've seen, the miracles I've been allowed to be a part of through prayer are undeniable. There's a guy who was terminal heart cancer, still living, without any Western medical intervention whatsoever. So, what is this whole planet, you know, how does it enslave you? It wants you enslaved in a system of, every time I have a boo-boo, I got to get a prescription for it. And I came from that industry. I know firsthand. I've seen people go to prison for fraud. I know firsthand what greed does, even to like the medical industry. So I am so blessed to have this job where we're a very ethical wound care company. There's been some fraud within wound care even. I've seen fraud in ophthalmology. I've seen fraud in wound care. I spent nearly 2 decades in ophthalmic sales. And my brother, James Douglas, I'm Matthew Douglas, my brother, James Douglas, actually prophesied that in a song called Shaman's Blues. He said, "There'll never be another one like you. There'll never be another one who can do the things you do. Please stop and you remember. Optical promise." So he was seeing my life before I was even born. And in Shaman's Blues, he goes, "I'll be dead and in hell before you're born." So just as Jesus died and went to hell to free souls and see what the landscape was down there, Jim did too, and he knew it was part of the mission. So Jim was a messianic figure here. He was a young lion. You are correct. He was a prophet from the same kingdom of the one that you did crucify, and that's the one that's going to come through the firmament. So contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, we are not demonic. We are not devils or demons. We do not serve the fallen. Now, people might have attacked us that profess Christianity, but we're really pagan, based on lies that they were being fed by Satan, and they received bad karma from it. That's God protecting us on our mission. Okay, I'm not threatening you. I'm not threatening anybody. But if you're going to attack me, you might want to crack open my books and see if that's really a good decision to do in end times. I'm not touting myself. I'm not operating out of pride or ego. I'm operating out of truth. So I'm here to fulfill not only James Douglas's prophecies, but also be a watchman on the wall, just like a lot of people are. And I've been getting brides, shofars, diamond rings, lion faces, Jesus's face, Mother Mary in her veil, in the skies out here almost weekly, right? I'm getting wedding supper of the Lamb visions as I'm falling asleep, visions of me being raptured up to a glory cloud. That's the title of my 9th book, being carted off with angels through the helix constellation shaped as an iris, which is ironic because I used to be in eye care. to Orion, where I'm from. I have the belt stars of Orion on my right midsection as birthmarks. So that's where I'm originally from. And James told you I was coming. He said, kiss the hunter of the green vest who has wrestled before with lions in the night. Who are the lions in the night? So Jim was a lion of Judah incarnate. I am as well. The lions of the night are the demons that were cast down, that came down with Lucifer. It mentions it in Revelations. A third of the tail's dragon fell to the earth. So when Jim said when the rapture would take place in a song, tell all the people that you see, it's just me. He was trying to tell you, I would look very much like him. There's photos I've shown people and they can't tell me from him. We have the same middle name, the same moles on our face in the same areas. We have the same 3 belt star moles on our right midsections. So again, I'm fulfilling his prophecies. There's a lot of question, did he fake his own death? It's possible. I can tell you only what I remember. And all I remember, and again, these are memories from prior to my birth, right? Is being in Paris, looking at shops, seeing a bathtub with colored beads around it. That's about all I remember. So, did the body die? So the body had 2 souls in it. And that's what Shaman's Blues was. You can hear 2 different voices in Shaman's Blues. People say, oh, you're cuckoo, you're crazy, you need a psychiatrist. No, that's just sons of God in one body fulfilling a mission. That mission was trying to show you who your trustworthy kingdom prophets are in end times. When a whole lot of people would come on the stage, some of them with obscene wealth, professing to be Jesus on earth or God's messenger on earth. There's an Egyptian Mahdi who said such. MBS, Saudi Arabia, Mr. Trump has even said the I am. So there's a lot of people professing to be us but are actually demon possessed, right? Now, how can you trust that I am not demon possessed? That's a great question. And Jim said, waiting for the sun, waiting for you to come along, waiting for you to hear my song, waiting for you to tell me what went wrong. So nothing truly went wrong. An American Prayer was his mission, and that was published. And then all the music lyrics were prophecies too, which I've tried to unravel almost every one in my books. There's quite a few more that I could unravel. I was at 2 shows with John and Robbie, the 2 surviving members of the Doors, and both of them, the night I was there, said, we know Jim's here tonight. So they sensed I was there. I didn't tell them I was there. They didn't physically see me, but they sensed I was there. So you can trust what I'm saying. This is the truth about James Douglas, all right? There's a lot of people online, oh, if he only hadn't died, man, what would he be like today? Could he have been a great writer? Well, he is still here, guys. This is the true nature of your spirits, okay? Your spirits are eternal. And it is true. You're going to spend one place, which is Sheol, under the earth. That's people fulfilling Luciferian agendas, trying to murder God's children or track them or alter their DNA. That's murderous. That's evil. I don't care what your net worth is. When you die, and you will die physically one day, you're not going to go to heaven for that stuff, okay? That's anti-God. It's anti-humanity, and humanity is a creation of God, the Creator. Let's see what else. So, tell all the people that you see. We're coming up on Slide Rock State Park, so this is a beautiful, sorry for my window being, that's Bruno. Bruno likes to kiss the window with his nose, so sorry for the visual obfuscation through my windshield, but this is coming into Sedona, Arizona. I live out here too because I can keep myself in a really high spiritual vibration. People have come to Sedona. There's energetic vortices here. It's at a high elevation. We're close to a mile high, and then we've got these red rocks which resonate. So there's a high spiritual resonance out here. There's a high crystal and auditory resonant community out here, healing community, a lot of healing. There's a Christ Consciousness Center here. I've walked in there. I've sent them my books electronically. I've seen a lot of miracles out here, a lot of apparitions, a lot of angels in the Sedona area, and that's good because there's also there is a reptilian presence out here. It's underground. There's people have seen the men in black out here, black helicopters, people in black. military gear. There's Slide Rock State Park. Super fun place if you want to like go down a natural slide into the water. And wife and I hike out here probably once a week, and it's just beautiful. It's a spiritually protected area, high vibrational area, high healing area, a lot of crystal energy if you guys are into that stuff. Not all of it is demonic, okay? There's a lot of people that are going to say, oh, that's New Age, it's all Satan. Not all of it, okay? Not all of it. Satan is a reality of this world. I would say most of the world right now is not discerning his agendas because you're wrapped up in the pro football season or college football season. I've been guilty of that, okay? I love rooting for college football. But, you know, there's a lot of scandal that goes on in those industries too. And we see a lot of people that, you know, I went to the University of Michigan. We just saw a fall from grace with their coach. So Satan's constantly tempting, trying to steal souls for his kingdom of darkness, which will remain and will be the beast system for 7 years after the rapture, prior to the 1,000-year millennial reign of Christ on earth. So literal Christ in form here, touches the Mount of Olives, establishes his kingdom, which I really want to. I'll go to a guillotine before I choose Satan over the millennial reign with Christ, because Satan's going to be bound in Sheol for that entire 1,000-year reign, and I don't want to be bound in Sheol with, you know, fallen angels and people that, whether it was through sin or rejection of the free salvation of what was done on the cross, are in bondage and in torment in the fires below the earth in Sheol. So anyways, getting off my soapbox, don't mean to sound preachy at all, but I promise you, after you get into a 5D kind of awakened state and you start exercising your spiritual gifts from the other kingdom, you will literally, you'll go broke before, you know, you'll leave corporate America. You'll quit your pro football career. Speaking of which, like Pat Tillman, one of his favorite hikes out here is West Fork, which we're coming up on. So Pat Tillman was the Arizona Cardinals, play a great safety for ASU around my age. I do remember him playing well with Jake the Snake Plummer. Loved watching that team. I think they beat Michigan in a Rose Bowl. And then he had a great NFL career. He was like an all-pro guy. And after 9/11, he quit to join the Army Special Forces, kind of guys I used to train with in my 20s. I spent 4 years on active duty training with Airborne Rangers and Army JAG officers and enlisted. One of probably the best 4 years of my life. I sustained a spinal cord injury, so I chose to get out of the service after being recruited as a Black Hawk pilot and to guard the Tomb of the Unknown. Chose to get out of the service. I don't regret it because I didn't realize at the time, but I completed my last 2 years of active duty with a blown C-spine, which I still have not had surgically repaired. I'm afraid of the surgery. So I've lived with that injury ever since about the age of 24. Bruno, see, you're causing because you won't wear your seatbelt. You're causing the dinger to go off. But anyways, you can see how beautiful this drive is. So I mentioned to Chris, so look here, we got Indian jewelry. They have a lot of native. There's a Navajo res not far from here at all. I help some of those patients with wound care. And I'm an author too. There's some really amazing stories in my books. So what my book's about, people ask, they're supernatural stories of actual angelic encounters / miracles that I've witnessed. One of them was in St. George, Utah, which is also a Red Rock area like here. And hardly anyone, I was shocked that this was never reported in the news because it involved multiple witnesses, of which I was one. A server went out to give Holy Communion to a sick person in St. George, Utah, dropped the host on the floor, picked it up. Their protocol is they snap it in half, they eat one half of it, and then they put the other half in a recently like a white laundered handkerchief. And he did that, and then he got home and he pulled the handkerchief out and it was covered in blood. So in the literal sense, the Eucharist had transfigured into blood. And that's when people that mock Catholicism, number one, it's probably the Christian sect that has had the most documented actual miracles like that one. I know that actually happened because I know the people that were involved with it. And I was there the day it happened in St. George. But that's transfiguration. So like on the Mount of Olives when Jesus was crucified, then rose and became light and went up into the sky, which is how we rapture out of here. And it's also how he returns when he comes back for the millennial reign in 2033. I'm expecting the rapture of this. I thought it was going to be 2025. We might actually still be in 2025. And I also do believe in some of the things that they thought were conspiracy theories, but are actually fallen angel agendas, such as chemtrailing. So today, look, can't see them. Normally, there's tons of chemtrails in the skies. The other quote-unquote conspiracy theory is a solar simulator. Now, that's not so wacky because I've taken photos of the sun out here and then zoomed in, and instead of it looking like a planet that's like on fire, it looked like a honeycomb, right? So a solar simulator is in the shape of a honeycomb. Now, why would the Luciferians want to do that? Well, to trick us, to not allow it. So part of us connecting to the true sun, that's why Jesus was called the Son of God. When we pray to God, to the other kingdom, there are dimensional doors through our sun, even our moon, back to the other kingdom in Orion. So I know that because I've made that journey. You usually make that journey not in a flesh body, right? But when they say when the trumpet sounds, our mortal coil, our physical body becomes immortal. It becomes glorified. It becomes angelic. It becomes light-based. So that is something that I do believe is going to happen. On that note, so you don't think I'm the only one coming up with this wacky theory, scripturally it is supported, and not just that, but little children, 3, 4, 5 years old, have been having dreams of the firmament and telling their parents about a firmament, and then, my body started glowing, and I turned into a ball of light and shot up into the air. So, there's what Acts 2:17, I will pour my flesh out on all. I will pour my spirit out on all flesh. So little children having dreams of a rapture or Jesus or a firmament when they're not even being... the boy from my book, Paxton, is a perfect example. As we were praying for him, he had terminal brain cancer, DIPG, and as he was dying, number one, the doctors couldn't understand how, given the progression of the tumor in the brain, which is a brain stem tumor, glioblastoma, not only was he able to walk and run around the house, which the doctors were like, he should be on a breathing tube. So that was kind of a miracle right there. His quality of life was unbelievable towards the end of his life. And this is like one of the first stories of my books, one of the first miracles. But he kept telling his parents, a blonde man's coming in my room telling me I'm getting my own mansion in heaven. So where are these mansions in heaven? Where are these mansions? Number one, they're in different dimensions, but they are in Orion. I'm one of the belt stars of Orion, right? There's heavenly palaces there where there's trees of life, rivers of life. Your body doesn't decay. You're in a glorified state, which, by the way, Mary is, so you can pray to her. Prayer is just communication, guys. It's also showing your belief and your reverence for your Creator. But Mary is more than capable of delivering a prayer on your behalf, okay? She might ask you to do something for her, which I would highly recommend doing. When I started writing my books, some people mocked me. I've been mocked my whole life by the cult, some of the cult people I grew up with, because they're self-righteous and they think they're saved and everyone else isn't. But the signs, the photos, the stories of my books, they're kind of undeniable, and they involve multiple witnesses. There's the Sedona sign, right? So that pretty much concludes this beautiful drive down here. I love coming here. I come here as often as I can. I was born and raised in Michigan. I've lived there most of my life after the military, and lived in Indiana for a little while, near Westfield, near Indianapolis. And so we come here often because this is a high vibrational, high spiritual, kind of awakened area. And you can feel I believe there's portals here, dimensional doors. Jim would remember, he named his band The Doors. So that was my brother and I in the same body. That's why I look a lot like him. I have the same mole on my face. So I'm trying to tell you the truth about Jim. Is Jim alive? What happened? What if he would have lived? Jim was an immortal. He saw his next life, next body with me. And I was with him in the body, in the Doors. So that's how I can tonally sound very close to him. This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend, the end. So that was one of our prophecies. And he wrote, the blue bus is calling us. So let me decode that one. In the military, when I served 4 years in the Army to pay for college and to get my master's, we were carted around in blue buses. So that was Jim seeing that he would be with me. Come on, baby, take a chance with us. Meet me at the back of the blue bus. And then also, in my life out here in Prescott Valley, in Prescott, I've seen probably 10 to 12 different blue buses in town. So he was a prophet. He saw ahead of your linear time, which anybody who's a Luciferian professing to be Jesus, like this Egyptian Mahdi, ask him to actually do a prophecy then. Because they really can't, because they're not actually connected to the actual source, to the actual God, the Creator, who is the only one that can truly deliver you that glimpse. But he's doing it right now through the Son that was crucified, through James Douglas, and now through me with my books. My books have ended up becoming prophetic. I predicted things like COVID and being on the brink of World War III that we are right now. And I told people before they happened that was going to happen. People took it, either like I was mentally ill or as a threat, like I was threatening them. And saying, hey, I hope the world's still here is not a threat. It just means, hey, I'm seeing things coming that are going to be very life-threatening that I'm not doing to you, but your Luciferian class is doing to you. And here's how sick some of these folks are. They think like a depopulation agenda. They actually think they're serving humanity because they actually think, because of the lie Lucifer's spewing into their ear, which is, there's too many people on the earth. There's too many people on the earth. There's too many people on the earth. Elon, $300 billion. Don't share that money. Don't feed them. We got to depopulate them because they're going to destroy the environment, with their methane emissions. It's total deception. It's total lie. Total lie. So you got this deceiver angel posing as God on the earth. And let's be honest, he's got, I'd say 99% of the world's wealth right now working for him. Microchips, vaccines, internet, 6G. They're talking about implanting the internet in your body, implanting cell phones into your body. Your body being a part of, they call it the Internet of Bodies. So your body being literally connected to a Starlink satellite. That's insane. It violates every constitutional laws there are out there. It also violates, obviously, natural God fundamental laws of nature. So, what do you think, Bruno? Did I go off on a rant? Are they gonna try to take this video down off of YouTube because it's too truthful? Probably. So, well, good. You want to say anything, Bruno? You want to say anything? Yeah.